Hey guys, Sneaky Snake here, Brothers in Arms, World of Warships, and today's video is going to be the second installment into our Tactics and Strategy series, and I suppose this one can be titled Snatching Victory from Defeat. This is going to be a case of, ooh, I'm in a top-tier ship. I am the only top-tier ship in the game. I feel way too confident in my abilities, even though I am a very good player, and I'm going to make a bunch of absolutely head-scratching and bumbling mistakes at the beginning of the game, almost throw my ship away, but then recompose myself, reassess the situation, and help the team to a nice hard-fought victory. It's very easy to do when you're top-tier in World of Warships, getting overconfident in yourself and trying to do a lot of things in the game that, you just really can't do. Now, I'm in my Tier 9 American battleship, the USS Iowa, a ship that I play quite a bit, and a ship that I really enjoy and pretty much never have a bad game in, and I'm divisioned up with my buddy ElasticSpyder. He's in his Tier 9 Japanese heavy cruiser, the Ibuki, and we're playing some domination here on the map north. So, without further ado, we're going to take a look at the minimap right now in the game and see what's up. Okay, so taking a look at the minimap here, myself and Spider, along with one other battleship and the aircraft carrier, are over here on the western side of the map, and we are heading over towards Objective Alpha. Now, taking a look here at the team layout, we can easily see, as mentioned earlier, that I am the top tier ship in the game, along with my buddy Spider. There's a couple other Tier 8 battleships on our team, a North Carolina and Tirpitz, and there's also a couple other Tier 8 cruisers and destroyers, a Tago and two Fubukis, a New Orleans, and then there's a Nagato, a Scharnhorst, a Hachiharu, and a Carrier Hiryu rounding out our team. For the enemy team, there is a Ranger, a Tier 9 Iowa, a Tier 9 Ibuki as well. Then they have, in no particular order, Bismarck, Amagi, Colorado, Ibuki, Atlanta, Kutuzov, and the two Fubukis. So, again, you're top tier, and you get this kind of matchmaking, especially with almost half of the enemy team being battleships, and all of them except for one are lower tier. You're thinking to yourself, all right, we're going to do some really nice damage in this game. We're going to be sinking some enemy dreadnoughts. We're going to be getting to those caps, capturing the bases. We don't really have to worry about the aircraft from the Ranger, considering it's only Tier 7 and the Iowa's AA is absolutely stellar. And really the only things that we have to worry about at the moment are the two Fubukis. Depending on where they decide to go, they can create some problems for us. But anyway, back to the minimap. We're taking a look at it here. I told Spider right here at this point of the game, hey man, let's go over to Objective Alpha, and he kind of had a little bit of doubt about it because, of course, those two Fubukis, if they both decided to come over here, Japanese destroyers really are good at open water fighting. They could give us some trouble, but I decided, nah, man, and I really wasn't thinking about it, so that's probably mistake number one that I made. Now, also looking at the minimap, there are two ways for ships with good concealment, specifically battleships with good concealment, to come towards Objective Alpha. The one, indicated by the arrow on your screen, is pointing towards the island, and then right when you get a couple kilometers, you completely turn broadside, and you come out from the island, angled slightly away from the cap, so that you're able to turn, and whenever you do get detected, you still have your full broadside available, and you're able to turn and get angled from any ships that are going to be shooting at you. Or you can swing way around to the left, indicated by the second arrow on your screen, and you can go into open water. Because you have the good concealment rating, you're going to be able to get the jump on any of the other battleships, and short of, I believe, the Tirpitz, there's no other battleship here at the higher tiers with a full concealment build that beats out the Iowa in terms of the concealment distance. So, both of those courses of action are the best way to go. So let's see, what mistakes have I made already? I am completely neglecting the threat of destroyer. I am going to not do one of the two tactics that I already described to you, and I'm going to pretty much split it in the middle and get myself in a bad situation. Spider was kind of iffy about going over here as well, and I didn't really listen to him. It was one of those cases where I was just feeling too confident and too cocky. Let's continue watching the replay. Okay, back to the gameplay. I sped forward about a minute into the game, and I'm looking for my first shot on the Colorado. I had already fired. Shots fall in. Solid 13,000 points of damage. Very, very healthy range on this Iowa of over 23 kilometers. Allows you to get these very long-range shots off at the beginning of the game and get some cheap damage in. Now, you're going to see here, just as my buddy Spider is moving up, you see the enemy torpedoes are coming in, and they certainly are from the enemy Fubuki. Now, what I really should be doing here right now is turning back to the right side. I still have a little bit of ocean over there to work with, but if I do decide to turn to the right side, then I have to worry about the Colorado that's still in front of me and the enemy Amagi that's 21 kilometers away. And now that the Fubuki has been spotted 6.9 kilometers away, there's also an enemy Ibuki. I do literally the worst thing that you could possibly do here, and I turn completely broadside onto these enemy ships. My buddy Spider starts taking some fire, and I also made another error. I completely forgot about the reload on that Bismarck. I wasn't paying attention when he fired his first salvo, Excuse me. And as I continue to turn broadside, his 2 forward guns don't do much damage. I do shoot back at him and score 19,000 points worth. But unfortunately for me, he gets his rear turrets into action. And oh, buddy, 28,000 points of damage he dealt to me. And I just lost about a third of my hit points because I played like an idiot, and I decided to not really think about where I was positioning my ship. And literally right there, that was the only course of action that I had, because if I continued to go towards the Bismarck, his secondaries were just starting to open up on me. 10.6 kilometers is the range if he goes with a full secondary build, and that would just be a really bad thing. Plus, there were also more torpedoes coming in from those enemy destroyers. I'm now taking more fire from the Bismarck and the Ibuki that's over here as well. Ibuki is slowly coming in at me. More Fubuki torpedoes are off to my starboard side. There's also an enemy Kutuzov over here, too, at 8.8 kilometers away, as he just goes into the smoke. I start scoring some decent hits on the Ibuki for 4,400 damage, but now I am on fire. I've already burned my repair, and I got to get out of dodge here. Now, the Iowa does have a really good top speed of 33 knots. 33.5, I believe, is the correct number, but I'm still way too close to the enemy. In my concealment, this is not a full concealment build. I do have the captain skill, I believe, for concealment, and it's 14.1-ish or so, but I do not have the equipment piece on this thing, I don't believe. And because of that, I'm still detected. And if at this moment, as long as that Ibuki continues to push into Objective Alpha, I'm still going to be getting spotted. I'm already down to 22,000 health. I've lost more than 2/3 of my hit points here, approaching 3/4 worth of it, and I'm still taking fire. I still got 13 seconds left until my damage control comes back, the repair party that is, and I've just been getting absolutely slaughtered by these enemy ships here. And it was all because I positioned my ship badly. I was way too confident in my abilities. My buddy Spider had his reservations about it. Both of the Fubukis came over and dropped torpedoes. I came under fire from 2 very good fire starters in the Ibuki and the Kutuzov. The Bismarck got great shells into on me. I screwed up so bad right there. And I was hitting myself, not literally, of course, but it was just so frustrating to, play like a potato, honestly. And like I said, I really do good in this ship. And to just do something boneheaded like that just absolutely made me frustrated. Only done 37,000 points of damage, and I've taken well more than that. And I'm still taking more fire from the enemy Kutuzov and the Ibuki. They continue to shoot at long range. Unfortunately for them, I'm moving just a bit too fast and their aim is not true. But you can see here, I've just lost so much health. I was able to get 1 damage control party back and then use the second one as well. I do take 1 more hit there and get lit on fire, but now I finally go out of detection and I only have 32,000 hit points left. Alright guys, we're now going to take a look at the minimap at this exact moment. We're leading the game 421 to 385. The lead is very slim. We've captured Objective Bravo and Delta. The enemy team has certainly captured Objective Alpha along with Objective Charlie. I've taken way too much damage, way more than I really should have. Some of the enemy cruisers are moving now towards Objective Bravo. There's also that Amagi that's moving up towards Objective Alpha. Myself and a giant cluster of our team is just been pushed away from Alpha very aggressively by the enemy team. And you can just see all the mistakes that I made there in that last engagement. And, to a player that is new to the game, or, maybe a good player that's, trying to put their game to the next level, having something like this happen would just be really discouraging to a player. And it would really ruin at least the rest of the game for them. Now, to get to that next level and to really improve your game to a point where you can be adaptable to any situation that arises, you're going to basically see me play pretty stellar gameplay from here on out. And I'm able to recompose myself, as I mentioned earlier. I'm going to reassess the situation and then move and put my ship in a position with the little remaining hit points that I have to still be able to have a very positive outcome on this battle. So without further ado, let's continue watching the replay and see what adjustments I make to help our team to victory. Alrighty guys, we're back to the gameplay. I have used my damage control a couple of times, to get some more hit points back. I still have less than half my hit points, as I mentioned earlier, so I'm going to have to be very careful and be very economical with my remaining hit points. I still do have quite a few heals left, however, so I'm still going to be able to utilize the remaining hit points to stay in the fight a lot longer than one might think. So now I'm looking for more shots here. I did shoot a full salvo at the Amagi, but he did turn in, and I wasn't able to hit anything. Got 3 seconds left on the reload, looking for another salvo here on the Amagi. He's presenting a full broadside to me, and I'm shooting at long range. Now, basically what I'm doing here is I don't want to get stuck back into the fight at really quickly. I want to stay a little bit at range, play a lot more passively, just get good shots on what I can at long range. 3,000 damage there off one shell hit on the Amagi. And I just want to kind of probe the enemy's defenses here and just kind of get a good feel to where they're going. And then once I figure out when the enemy makes their decisive and convincing movements to whatever objectives or whatever parts of the map, then I'm going to turn in, get bow in, and move up towards those islands so I can use them for cover and potentially concealment. Now, the enemy Bismarck that did go over towards Objective Alpha, along with those two Fubukis, has come under the concentrated fire of my buddy Spider, the New Orleans, and the North Carolina that went off to my port side. So, good for us there, taking care of that guy that did a lot of damage to me earlier, all at my own expense, and because of the decisions that I made. And now I'm in a range here with the Iowa where I'm easily able to abuse the very good concealment factor on this ship, and I'm able to just shoot shots downrange whenever I feel like it. I'll get detected, I'll have to wait 20 seconds for the debuff, and then I will go off of the screen, and I'll be able to get ready for my next salvo. I shoot a full broadside at the enemy Kutuzov down there, about 19 kilometers away from me. Unfortunately, he did turn in quite a bit, and all the shells miss. 40,000 damage done so far off of 14 shell hits. Yeah, still got a lot of work to do here. The score is 425 to 518, 521 now that is for the enemy team, and they still have a good command over the objectives, and now it looks like they're moving in towards Objective Bravo. So this is when I decide, okay, I'm going to make my move. The Bismarck off to my port side is about to die from my teammates. Good stuff there. An enemy Iowa on full health, at least the stock hull that is, moves in at 17.4 kilometers, get my two forward guns. My buddy Spider is able to take him out with the fire. Very good stuff there. And my buddy in the New Orleans just takes out the Fubuki. So now we've regained the lead, and I get a nice citadel on the Iowa for just over 19,000 points of damage. Very good stuff right there. We're also capturing Objective Alpha. The New Orleans is on the cap, and now the bulk of the enemy fleet that is opposing us, that is now moving in towards Objective Bravo, is going to start shooting at me. Now you can see here how I have went out of detection and then came back on when I shoot. I use my last damage control part of the couple minutes ago to get up to 40,000 hit points, and I have no more parts of the ship to heal until I start taking more damage. So with 40,000 hit points and with 4 enemy ships in front of me, I get stuck back into the fighting. The enemy Ibuki appears 9.3 kilometers in front of me, as does the Kutuzov at 8.7, and he is going full broadside. I get my two forward guns out on the Kutuzov. Let's see what kind of damage I do here. Get a few nice solid hits for 12,500 damage. Very solid stuff there. I still have my rear turret, which I also did shoot downrange at the Kutuzov and score another 2,700 points of damage, so about 15,000 points of damage on that Kutuzov, and my last two salvos have been really good. I start taking some more high explosive damage, but I'm no more worse for the wear, because again, I got the heals ready to go now. Got 2 more left. I'm now looking for my 2 forward guns here on the enemy Iowa, who's, I guess, oblivious to my presence. I get spotted by aircraft, trying to drive off that Kawashini. Spotter aircraft, shells flying in, there we go, another citadel, 18,000 points of damage, and all of a sudden we're up to 93,000 points of damage, and I'm getting stuck in here and starting to, just destroy the enemy ships, take out their hit points and make a good impact on the game here. I'm getting some more hit points back, used one of my remaining 2 damage controls. The enemy Iowa is 8.8 kilometers away, and he really still hasn't changed his angle. I did decide to slow it down, and luckily for me, slowing down was the perfect decision. I only take 1 shell, 2 shells that is, for about 8,000 damage, but my shells back at him, take him out for 17,500 points of damage done. Enemy Iowa destroyed, already up to 117,000 points of damage. Good stuff there. 3 citadels, 1 ship destroyed, 30 shell hits. Enemy Fubuki appears in front of me, pops the smoke at 7.5 kilometers. I get my rear turret firing on the enemy Ranger. I misjudge his speed and shoot way too far in front of him, but I still manage 1 overpen for 1350. So all of a sudden, our team has taken a commanding lead here, takes some massive hits here from the enemy Atlanta now, too, that's joined the party, the Ibuki and the Kutuzov. So I'm angled away from them as best as I can, but, as the old saying goes, you can't really angle away from high explosives. So now I'm starting to take some, concentrated fire from those guys, but they are pretty much sitting broadside onto me, so hopefully RNG will treat me well and I'll be able to get some good shots. Shells falling in on the Kutuzov, 2 overpens for 2,700 points of damage. I really do not want to let them get a foothold in that center area, but it looks like the enemy ships are now starting to retreat back. The Atlanta gets taken out by a friendly Otago, and now these enemy ships have kind of pushed in a little bit too far to the point where they're just stuck there and they can't do anything. I have since been taking more and more hits from those enemy cruisers, but luckily the team that has been pushing over from Objective Charlie is able to get there just in time, along with my buddy Spider, who has since long before moved off to the east to draw the enemy fire. And now I use my last damage control ability with only 1,000 hit points remaining, and I'm going to get a little bit more hit points back here. I have since also used the islands in front of me, off to my port side, to be able to get out of detection. And I'm just gaining my hit points back up to about 13,000 hit points and counting. So that was a real close call right there, and I was still able to stay alive throughout that entire scenario due to the islands, which I was able to utilize much better than at the beginning of the game. And now with my last damage control party used, I'm up to 14,000 hit points, and I'm getting some very long-range shots here at the enemy ranger. And boy, does it really feel nice in American high-tier battleships to be able to shoot this far at range, be able to damage enemy ships. 5,800 damage on the ranger, and now I'm looking for a little bit of payback here. I do have the Ibuki targeted, however, I do decide to switch back to the ranger to get off my rear turret before I decide to shoot at the Ibuki. Yep, there he is. Got 10 seconds left on the front guns. He's got 22,000 health. I keep going in and out of detection, just due to the fact that sometimes, enemy ships have been spotting me through the crevasses in the islands, and sometimes it's been aircraft. More shells, a full broadside this time at the enemy Ibuki. Let's see if I'm able to get rewarded for it. Shells falling in, a decent bit of damage, just over 6,000 taken care of. I earned the Confederate ribbon, get up to, the Confederate medal, that is, 135,000 points of damage done in the last about 6-7 minutes worth of combat. And yeah, the enemy team did take Objective Bravo, unfortunately, but for the most part, we were able to keep them bottled in that area of the map, and our team that was moving on the right side was able to just sweep on into the west and take care of business. The friendly New Orleans picks up yet another kill. Tsunami Rider, shout out to you, man. You had a fantastic game. And right here at the end of the game, only the Fubuki and the Ranger are left. We are in complete command of this game, and it's only a matter of time before those ships are sent packing and taken care of. I do shoot down one of the torpedo planes that is inbound on my position from the Ranger, and as much as I said the AA was good right at the beginning of the game, the Ranger is actually able to get one torpedo off at me. Plane gets shot down, and I obviously turn in towards it, and the torpedo just passes harmlessly off the bow. So, how about that? Had an absolutely horrific start to the game, literally broke every rule in the book, played like an absolute derp, and then I just, hey, it's all good. Got my health back, moved into a different position, and just started dealing the damage that I'm, accustomed to in this ship. Just, having a nice impact on the game. And with that being said, 1,000 points later, we win the game here on the map North. Pardon me, guys, I forgot to take screenshots of the post-battle results, but nonetheless, I still remember a few from heart, and obviously, if you look at the screen right at the end of the game, you can see 38 shell hits, 3 citadels, 3 planes shot down, 1 ship destroyed, a Confederate medal earned, 135,000 points of damage done. As for the stuff that I had to remember, I finished 4th on the team with just under 2,000 base XP. Obviously, the New Orleans up there, again, Tsunami Rider, shout out to you, buddy, had a fantastic game over there around Objective Alpha, killing stuff, capturing the base, and just doing a good job. And yeah, 1,900 base XP and 135,000 damage in a game where, after the first couple minutes, I was pretty much left for dead, and I really hadn't done anything at all. So just, again, whenever you have a bad game right at the beginning and things aren't going your way, just power through, think about what you got to do to change the situation around, and as long as you get some good help from your team and, you think about what you're going to do and you take care of business on your end, you can have results like this. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and just kind of see how, don't get discouraged, that's what I'm saying, don't get discouraged, and you should be able to come out with at least a decent performance as long as you pay attention and get in the right mindset. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Once again, Sneaky Snake here for Brothers in Arms World of Warships. Signing off. Have a great day, everybody. Take care, and I'll catch you next time.